Juliana, while sports fans are getting scammed on merchandise, travelers are also facing their own set of problems. We're talking, what is this twist on airline booking scams?
Yeah, so essentially what happens is you've booked your flight, you might be at the airport getting ready to board, your flight gets delayed, it gets canceled, you want to call the customer service number, whether you want to rebook the flight, make changes if, it's altering your plans entirely. So you quickly search for a customer service number, you call. They get your information, they charge you to rebook you, and then maybe you hang up and you're kind of like, that seemed a little weird. So you look for another number, you call another number to verify, and they don't have any record of said transaction. And so now you unfortunately are out your money. You haven't changed your flight. And we know this happens. I mean, travel scams have been very prominent, whether it's renting a home, making purchases with third-party websites, or just online in general. We know we've had reports where people buy from websites that they probably shouldn't have because the tickets don't end up being real. They get to the airport only to find out. They try to scan it. It doesn't work. And so, anytime you're working with a flight, whether it's a third-party site, an actual site, you're looking for these customer service numbers. I mean, there's so many things that pop up at the top of the search results anymore. Do a little bit of scrolling. Make sure that you're kind of seeing matching information in more than just one place, because it's very easy to get things to populate at the top that aren't legitimate.
Wow. How are these scammers getting the fake customer service numbers to show up so high on the search engine?
They're good at what they do. They just build these websites. They create these ads on Google. I mean, you name it, they're going to take advantage of it. And so you have to be so careful, especially when you're giving people your personal information and money, because unfortunately, you're probably not going to get that money back. We always encourage pay with a credit card. At least that way you can go and dispute the charges with your financial institution. But if they say that, you just have to pay this cancellation fee and then we'll rebook you, but we'll refund all your money, that should be a red flag.
Okay.
Like I said, do the homework to see, is the customer service number you found, can you find it in multiple places? Does it look legitimate? And so, yeah. We don't want you to lose your money.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, what's the red flag? Okay, and you're in a hurry to get that flight rebooked or what have you. So just a little extra scrolling there.
Or go back to the original confirmation email that you received, whether it was an email, a text message, however you got that confirmation information, because oftentimes in those emails it includes how to get a hold of them, how to make changes. Is there information in regards to, will they charge you a rebooking fee? Will they charge you to change the flight based on the circumstances or why it was delayed or canceled possibly? So go back to
go to the original.
Exactly. Yeah. I know sometimes we don't think about that because you're like, oh gosh, my email that I bought this flight from, 3-4 months ago. Now it's buried amongst millions others.
Exactly.
But do a quick search in your email, find it, and then go from there.
Okay. Worth the extra digging into your old emails. All right, so if you do find yourself speaking with a person, once you get out of that, black hole of Autobots and whatnot, with a legitimate customer service rep, what to do? What do you ask that person to make sure that you're actually speaking with someone legit?
So I think that is difficult, right? Because the scammers are going to have all the right answers. They're going to say all the things that you want to hear. So it's more on you to do that research to make sure the number you're calling is a legitimate phone number, that it's actually an agent that can help you, that's associated with that particular airline. There's so many airlines anymore and third-party booking sites that it can get confusing. Make sure you know who you booked with, how you booked that flight. And so I think the best recommendation is to go back to that initial email.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's always good. All right, Juliana, these third-party booking sites too, also.
Yeah.
What happens with that? Can you go to like an Orbit or Expedia?
Exactly. I mean, you can book on a third-party site. That's no problem. Oftentimes, though, you want to read the fine print, which I know none of us really like to do, because you want to know that if you do come upon an instance where you need to change it, cancel it, whatever the case might be, what are their rules, what are their requirements. So if you find a flight on those third-party sites, sometimes I personally will go to the actual site of whatever airline I'm trying to book through.
Exactly.
Because you have a little bit more wiggle room when you book directly through them. I think sometimes they're willing to help you more, whereas if you book through a third-party site, oftentimes they just refer you back to that third-party site to make any changes, fixes, or whatnot. And those sites have their own rules. They have their own restrictions. And so even if an airline says, hey, maybe you can change this without a cost, if the third-party booking site has their own rules and regulations because they're kind of handling that reservation on your behalf, it may not be free. So you want to be really careful because it's a different company that you're booking with. It's an intermediary third party.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. I mean, gosh. So if I book with a third party booking site, I get I get like a confirmation number anyway to the
Yes.
original airline.
So I think you get the confirmation number through the third-party booking site, but it has all the information for whatever particular flight you bought. However, when you have to go back to make any changes, updates, if it canceled, whatever the case might be, you usually have to work through that third-party booking site, and the airlines will typically push you back to them even if you try to call them directly. So, to eliminate a potential headache, should something happen, I mean, weather's crazy. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting in the Charlotte airport for 3 to 4 hours waiting on my delayed flight because
Oh,
of storms
no.
where I was going, storms then that came into Charlotte. And so fortunately, I was just going somewhere, hanging out for a couple days and coming back. But if I would have had a connection flight or I had to be there for a specific event, then I would probably have been looking to see what I could do to try to get a different flight.
Yeah. Yikes. All right. Are we all scammed out?
It's so funny. I talk about this stuff all the time, so I feel like, what else do you want to talk about? And we can talk about it. But for this morning, I think we're good.
We're good. That's the season, right? Because people are going to book and look at their holiday flights.
Yeah.
I know I need to do that myself.
Yes.
And, we've got some fall adventures
Yes.
for whatever. But, good stuff. Good things to know. Juliana O'Rourke has told us about some good things here. Sports merch and travel booking scams. Don't get yourself twisted in that kind of scam. Thank you, Juliana O'Rourke from Better Business Bureau.
Thanks so much.
All right.